My understanding is that the HR person does do HR, a lot of the technical stuff. The other position assists her and really picks up quite a bit of the slack, because we do quite a lot of HR stuff at the sheriff's office. It's a constant process.
I know that.
And so, go ahead.
This is more the clerical backup to the HR analyst.
Well, I just was wondering, your HR person out there needs a secretary? Is that basically what this is?
Well, she does a lot of stuff there. She does some. She supports just about everything that goes on in there. And
I don't want to belabor. I doubt that anybody else has much question about that. I'm just not sure that the HR person needs a secretary. You already have a secretary for this position to say that it already and supports your position. You already have somebody that does that, and HR person. I didn't know that they needed a secretary. That's why we took them out there, so they can handle all the HR stuff. And so I don't know that the workload out there has increased that much. But nevertheless, I can live with it.
It certainly is substantial. Being out there just a little over a year, that is a constant.
An office tech person is somebody that works independently and handles a lot of different things. And I'm not sure that this position is truly much more than just a secretary, is what they do. They don't do any independent work. They do secretarial work. They type letters. They do the things that a secretary does. And an office tech, to me, is much more than a secretarial position. That's the only problem I have with this.
I guess the question is, Ron, it's not a matter of workload or anything. It's a matter of
what type of
classification.
Right.
Are they doing the work? Are they working out of their classification? That's the major issue.
Everything here was analyzed. Everybody was interviewed by our independent consultant, so it was a non-biased.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the amount of work.
Right. And basically, the work that they're performing is at a tech level as opposed to an OA3.
And all of these, you have perused, investigated, and looked at all these, and you have
The 10 that we're recommending are
satisfied that they are
yeah.
exactly working in these
Right.
particular categories out of the ones they work.
And that was done by an independent party.
Thank you.
Who's the independent
Thank you,
party?
sure.
CPS?
Okay.
That's not Child Protective Services, by the way.
No.
We have many letters that mean different things. So. Okay.
So Ron, as long as you're there, if you want to talk about the status of reorganization.
Okay.
There's nothing in here about those, right?
There's nothing. The reorganization just is just more of a report update. We've received many requests for reorganizations. For instance, we do have 3 that are pending actually right now, and those have been put on hold until we have new management. Those are the fire department, probation, and information services. There was also a request from the Ag Commissioner for creating a new series. We're still working on that. That's still in the beginning stages. The 2 that will probably be coming to you more quicker would be behavioral health and public health. Behavioral health, actually, what we're working with them most diligently on is correcting the allocation list. And Mike is going to talk to you there sooner, but we're looking to reduce their allocations by 80, but making a lot of corrections and creating some series for them. So, for instance, a mental health worker 1, 2, or 3, similar to where the attorneys are a 1, 2, or 3, that they can just be promoted. So we're looking to streamline some of their allocations by allocating them at a higher level and then allowing mobility within the organization. And so Mike's going to talk to you later when he comes up to Health and Human Services on that.
I need more info on the rationale for that move. Why, you missed the baseline reason. Why are you doing that baseline?
Currently, if there's an opening for instance, a mental health TAC 3, okay, so you open that up, then you have to fill that with the 2s, then you have to reopen the 2s and fill that with the 1, and then you have to open to fill the 1. So you're talking about 3 or 4 different recruitments to move people up the ladder. In the CEO office, we have, and also in admin analyst 1, 2s, and 3s. Basically, that is a series, so you could actually promote the person from a 1 to a 2 to a 3, based on their performance evaluation and the development of their skills.
But how would that change, Ron, if you have an opening in a 3 position? You still have to do the same thing?
The idea would then allocate them all at the higher level and then allow people to move into those positions as they mature.
By the way, when we,
Allocate them to all?
Allocate the positions at the 2 or the 3 level, at the higher level. And then you're able to promote people up into those positions as opposed to having to go do the whole
as a way of an example, Gilbert has, I think, all of your attorneys allocated at the 4 level, correct? But frequently when they go out, they go out and recruit for 1 through 4s. And
So which means you don't have to, you don't have to hire them at a 4, they could be at a 2.
well, and in many of these instances, it's unusual to find somebody that is qualified at the 4 level. If you're lucky, you get a 3. More than likely, you're going to get a 1 and a 2.
It's the same thing in behavioral health then?
Behavioral health, a lot of what they really have to do is they have to grow their own. They really have to start people out and this would give them a clear-cut career path of how they can move up the line, similar to the way the attorneys do. Gilbert has in his office.
Right now you don't have a 1, 2, 3?
We have a 1, 2, 3, but you have to recruit for each individual spot. You have to stop and open a recruitment.
So it takes an entire reorg to change that?
We're not. Basically, this is what we're asking to do is just actually correct the allocation list, update the allocation list.
The way it usually works, unless I miss my bet, if you have a 1 who's ready to move up to 2 and you open up, they're going to hire her and make her a 2 anyhow, correct?
Right, but this basically you're able to do it through a process where everything doesn't have to be a recruitment. You can actually move people up. So it does streamline the operation.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me ask you one more issue.
Sure.
You only would move to a 2 or a 3 if you're doing the work for the 2 or the 3, not pursue merit or other things.
It's based on performance, and the job description is different, so you have to meet the requirements for that job description before you move up.
Well, it wouldn't be based on performance. I mean, it has to be based on the job description that you're doing level 2.
Right, and
level
satisfactory performance. It does have to
Right,
have
yeah. In other words, you would have shown the ability to perform. If you were a 1, you've shown you're capable of doing the job of a 2.
Right.
If you're a 2, you can do the job of a 3. I don't know if anybody jumps
What
from
you're
1 to
saying,
3,
this
but
eliminates the need to go out and spin wheels and go ahead and recruit for a certain level when you can move somebody else up
Correct.
in between, that in the opinion of the supervisor could meet, or is trainable, so forth.
Is there protections built in there so that we're not just a good old boy network, though?
I think that protection comes in when you actually need to recruit. You recruit from the 1 to the 3. So if there was somebody out there that qualified for the 2 or the 3, they could apply and maybe would not come in as a 1, but come
But you're not going to
2 or
recruit
3.
for the 3. You're going to probably move somebody up from the 1, or if you don't, you have problems inside.
You're going to still have vacant positions, and all of those positions would be allocated at the 3 level, but they could hire at the 1, 2, or 3. So when you recruit, you would still recruit for the 1, 2, or 3.
Normally, we don't get, in the mental health area, we don't find, similar to the attorneys, it's hard to get experienced people. Most of the time, you have to start. I apologize, Gilbert, for using this.
As experienced people.
Make you poster child.
Some are more experienced than others.
Sure, they don't get a whole lot of criminal prosecutors
No, and then
with 20 years' experience.
Public health, we're about 40% through. We're looking at modifying some job descriptions, and that's to comply with the requests and needs, especially in the area of environmental health.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions about
Reclasses or
reorgs,
rewards.
reclasses? These are all these special, wonderful terms we use at this time of the year only. It really, adjustments, augmentations, reclasses, reorgs. So,
And I do have the final report, so if there's any department that has questions as far as
final
why
report
they're
on
the reclasses, so if there's anybody that has any questions as far as why theirs wasn't approved or recommended, please come see me.
Why don't we already have that?
I can give everybody a copy.
I think you should.
I think it came in late last week.
I can give everybody a
Well, this is this week.
copy. Okay. I'll make copies.
duly noted, Supervisor.